Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy Zai. You already know, man. I'm on my way from the leaving the gym. My way to possibly stop by the store and get something to drink before I take it to the house. For the most part, I haven't really been on the internet really dealing with like all these controversial topics as far as like the outside of the P4K thing, and I chose to cover that because it's just I know exactly what type of consequences come with those type of cases. And for the most part, I try not to speak too deep on it because at the end of the day, and I don't necessarily want to hear I no longer even want to say that or even hear that it's black business and things of that nature, because I see multiple people make videos on the homies. They make them so deep that they try to delve into politics and how the homies politics and why this came about and who was the head of this organization and why the organization came about. And at the end of the day, like, regardless of what you think you know, you don't really know nothing. I don't care how many trash and 2-5s and all these other trash ass organizations speak on it. They really don't know nothing, because there's always circles amongst circles. There's always people that know things that the other may not know. I don't care who you are and how deep you think your ties go. There's always going to be people that have secrets of their own. You know what I mean? And so when you hear people talk and they snitch and they do all this and they go on the other side of the fence, a lot of times they're not in the know anymore. They're basically regurgitating. They're regurgitating what even and this is the thing. Even like with squad. So when squad raid you and these fools be flipping, a lot of times you're giving them information that they already know in the first place. So you're not telling them nothing new. That's why I be laughing when fools go to that side of the fence, because they already know all the information. They just want you to show that you've actually folded. A lot of stuff you think you're telling on this, they already know. They already got their fillers on the outside and the inside. Even you see the fools, when you see gooners running up in motherfuckers' house on the streets, it's far away from where they actually work. They know a lot of stuff, so that really has nothing to do with it. But so I don't want to hear this, and I'm not even gonna say it no more. That's black business, not our business, because obviously people keep interjecting in our business. There's always a conversation about a big homie and how they allow us to do this and how they push for this to eradicate this. It's all bull. It's gangbanging, and if you're taking an L, you're taking an L. It ain't got nothing to do, because a lot of times when certain calls are being made, that's because certain things have taken place. Other than that, it's just gangbanging. The whole shit with Longo and Insanes and 20s and all that was just gangbanging. It bled over into the county because it became racist. That was it. I've been involved in many scuffles that had nothing to do with me, but gangbanging led to something else. Same when 18 was going at it with other, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna go too deep into that, but all these vodkas that end up getting into with all these different gangs, it becomes personal. So it bleeds over into the county. And even though homies are taught to refrain from just doing stuff that's gonna invite issues for everybody, we're human. So a lot of times it goes down. Now, the whole thing with P4K and the simple fact that I don't know where he's at. Some people say he's PC'd up. That has nothing to do with me. I don't really care. My thing is on the charges. Now, you got other people trying to make excuses for these charges. I've literally watched a dude on the internet want to threaten the people that were telling on them that were minors, and basically letting them know, like, hey, if that you know what's coming with whatever you choose to do in the future. I'm gonna just tell you like this, and this is what I like about being from where I'm from, because nothing like that is gonna take place. Do you know, if I got on the internet, it wouldn't be just like my homies are feeling some type of way about me. Do you know, if one of my homies caught a sex crime and I went on the internet knowing it's gonna go viral, and even if it's not gonna go, I know a gang of people's gonna see it. If I got on the internet and said that the witness basically is gonna get it if they say something, and they're minors, so it's not even allegedly, like, it means I'm more for my homie than I am for this girl that's a child. Regardless of how many tricks she may have turned, she's still a child. everybody knows. And the thing is, it's nothing new. A lot of people have got into these situations, but your homies tell you, like, look, dude, you know that Hannah's like a year younger than you. I've never had to deal with it because I'll be on my shit. But it's been other situations where it's like, hey, fool, you know that Hannah's like a year or 2 years younger than you. Like I'm not gonna get in your business, but hey, fool, like, you know, if you get busted for it, you know what time it is. So basically, it's a warning. It's like, you may not like it, but you're on the streets and you're doing stuff. As long as they're not, you know, like young, you know what I mean, like in their 13s and stuff like that. Like if they're like a year or two younger, people don't really trip on it. Now, that's why I like that I took part in certain situations. I mean, in certain things, and the fact that I was able to be a part of something that I consider solid, and this solid by me, and taught me a lot of different things that I probably wouldn't have. I probably would have been a lot more reckless, more vocal, really lacking real respect, if I'd have went another route with it. And that's the thing, like with the homies, they taught me how to do a lot of things as far as like, you know, I've always been taught to stand on business, but they taught me how to stand on it in a way that it was still respectable. Now, fools might get on here and be like, oh, well, they do surprise attacks. That's war. It's anytime you get in a situation, this war, you're going to go the route that's going to cause the less casualties as possible. The whole thing is not to help you win a war or for you to win a battle. It's always to come out the victor. That's always should be your train of thought and the way you should conduct yourself, because at the end of the day, you're not trying to end up on the slab. You're trying to do what you do, put in work for who you put in work, and then you go home. That's the whole goal of when you get busted, is to make it home. But I'm already tired of this whole, you know, because I get in my comments, who's like, hey, fool, that's their business. It's not, though. It's the world's business, and it's on social media, so it makes it everybody's business, especially when it has to do with sex crimes. And I'm not even saying that he's guilty, but he got every finger pointing at him. They got pictures of him beating on this chick and videos of him beating on this chick there's no alleged about it. They got videos of him beating on this chick right off a Fig, and she's a minor. And the fact that they, and all the business, they own homies, and I'm not saying from itself, but they own people, put it out there for everybody to see, all the little tidbits of information that people wouldn't have been privy to if they'd have just kept it in home. It's everywhere. And there's no rules to it. When you have those type of crimes, yeah, I'm not going to get on here and be like, you're guilty of this. I'm not going to do that, dude. At the end of the day, I still hold myself to a certain, but I'm not gonna get on here and be cool with anybody that's gonna condone that. Anybody that's condoning that is a weirdo himself. A lot of the fools that's condoning it, like, you got Chester ways, or you've probably did the same thing, you just never got caught for it. Regardless of the situation, dude, that's the only thing I'm gonna say about that. When it comes down to this, you know, sex crimes and it's none of our business because it's another race, because I've seen, and people can contest to this, that certain crimes that everybody knows about wasn't being taken care of, and the homies had to end up busting a grape and starting whole fucking riots in order to get at a few people that had that type of smut on them. This ain't no trade secrets. This is just out there. Like, I remember being on the streets and watching on a whole riot kick off in Wayside because dudes didn't want to remove trash that has sex crimes on. Another thing. And they get off and they put it all on social. They put it all on the TV. Yeah. These dudes, the whole information, these dudes had trash behind them. They had sex crimes. They got pressed by a certain group. Dudes like, nah, we ain't doing the homies. We ain't doing nothing. And the homies had to get off. And it didn't even matter because the fools that allegedly had that on them, they got hit up. I think they almost flatlined them, or they flatlined both of them. And then the fools that try to protect them got wrecked. They got poked. They got hit up, dude. A lot of them fools end up, I don't know if they lost their life, but they got hurt bad trying to protect fools that were no good. And that's why I say, that's why when fools be like, oh, yes, it's none of our business. Yeah, it is. Because at the end of the day, a lot of stuff be falling on motherfuckers that ain't got nothing to do with it. Like, it's sometimes it's hard being in that type of structure. But when it comes to dealing with trash and fools that got like bad cases, like I'll gladly enjoy the fact that the type of structure that I've felt up under for years will not allow that. And it's not even like politics. It's just, you have to be somebody that's not a good person to think that people that have any type of things with minors are good. Like, there's no taking. I would never take up from my homie if he did something like that, especially if I know it's true. If I don't know it's true, I just keep my mouth shut and stay up out of it. But I'm never going to get on the internet in front of all them people and make threats to people that are minors, because they're telling, like, they're children. You know what I mean? Like, that chick was a child. Like, you know what I mean? It's wrong and there's right. But like I said, man, whatever comes to whoever got whatever coming, if you guilty, get got. You know what I mean? That's how I see it, because if it was me, fools, I would already been got though. If it was me, I would have already been got. The homies would have never let that. That's all I'm gonna say on that. They would have never let it slide, and I can guarantee you on my vodka, you would never hear one of my homies come on. They would just stay out the mix. If they don't know, they would stay out the mix, and they still wouldn't even broadcast it. It'd just be handled a different way. But never, ever will my homies come on the internet and make threats to a fucking minor because I got caught pandering. I mean, not pandering, but putting her out on the blade. Like, my homies would never do that. If anything, my homies would try to tear my fucking head off. That's what would happen. That's the difference, dude. That's why, like, when fools be trying to push these false narratives, dude, you know, for the fools that really been that been busted and know what's cracking, you know, if it was the homies, these fools would get ate up. They wouldn't even be kicking on the main line. They would have got hit the first day they landed. The first day they landed, they would have got hit for a fact. First day they landed, they were getting poked up. Man, if I ever pulled up and people be like, oh man, because you're black. Nah. If I pulled up to any yard that's good and my paperwork pops out, that's a wrap. That's all I'm gonna say on that, man. You know what I mean? Because fools be trying to get it twisted like, oh, you ain't got no right to speak on. We got the right to speak on whatever you want. I'm not saying who's gonna blast him or whether his homie's gonna, I'm not saying none of that. I'm just saying that I know for a fact what happens to those type of people. It's just common sense. You know what I'm saying? Focus on something better, dog. That's all I'm saying. You don't like what I said? It is what it is, dog. We don't pander to fools that got sex crimes or charges or anything of that nature. They believe, you know, yeah, ain't no redemption for that. And I'm out.